Stop toxic masculinity. This phrase has almost become the default slogan of today's world. Toxic masculinity has to be the most dangerous topic to talk about these days. There are protests and total outbursts by people who even go as far as to say that men shouldn't even exist. Of course, there are men who are violent, have no control over their emotions, and just do as they feel. But they are not even men to begin with. Keep this in your mind. A man run by emotions rather than intellect never had true masculinity to begin with. But regardless of all these pathetic attempts that society is trying to make to silence the strong men, one thing is clear. Masculine men have existed and will continue to exist. So, if they try to label your true masculinity as toxic, so be it. Cherish that hate from the world and keep growing. The right feminine woman will always love a masculine man, who by this world's definition is somewhat toxic. And that's exactly what you are about to learn. The 4 most toxic masculine traits that women secretly and subconsciously love. You may disagree with some points at first, but over time, you will appreciate the truth in them. Trait number 1. Be completely independent and self-reliant. Men have always formed brotherhoods since the beginning of this world. Even the most vicious and evil of men have formed brotherhoods because of the blessings it carries within itself. But here's what most men don't realize. The best brotherhoods are where each member of the group is highly skilled. It's like putting together a football team. You want to grab the best of the best talent and put them together into one team. The same is true to brotherhoods and the love you get from a woman. When men and women around you see your skills, your achievements, your ambitions, your goals, they will automatically want you to be on their team. But it all begins with being independent. You cannot learn to be strong by always relying on someone. To transition from a boy into a man, there must come a point in your life when you truly take the lead. This is why you will often hear some men say that you should move out of your parents' house as quickly as possible so that you can learn the art of becoming independent. Think of a man living with his parents. He washes one dish and gets praised for it, and the rest of the time he wastes it, playing video games or busting his nuts. The harsh truth is that women will see a man like that and think, why is he so weak that he can't stand on his own 2 feet? Brother, never forget that as a man, your job is to help others and solve their problems. It's okay to be helped, but never take it for granted and absolutely never make it the norm for yourself. To be a man means to give more than you receive, period. Trait number 2, a total stoic mind. Practically everyone these days dislikes the idea of being in control of their emotions. Imagine a world where everyone has no control over how they feel, where the chaos within is in charge of the laws which control society. It might seem like an impossible scenario to some of you, but the truth is, that's exactly where we live currently. If you go on Instagram, you will see different things girls tend to have in their bios, like #moodygirl or #mood swings. The sad reality is that men of today are living with the same mindset. They act like 20-year-old girls with mood swings. Oh, I don't feel like it. Let me skip the gym. Or, oh, I just had a bad day, so let me go bust a nut to a random girl on a screen without taking some accountability. And before they know it, their emotions start to control them, and not the other way around. Young brother, listen to me carefully. Women notice this behavioral change in you and are repulsed by it. Get this right in your head. You won't ever have a healthy and stable relationship with a woman if you keep acting out of your emotions. This signals to the woman that you will make a very unstable life partner who can't even provide stability to her children in the long term. So, what's the solution? Simple. Become stoic. Society might call you toxic for this, but keeping your emotions in check is the one thing that will set you apart from most other men. A mentally strong man will always be able to attract all the women they want simply because they're in actual control of their actions. When his peers will be tired and ready to seek comfort, he will be out there working and achieving his goals. When the other men take their foot off the gas, he will be racing faster than ever before. Trait number 3, disregard women. This one might sound offensive and even misogynistic to some of you, but keep listening. Think about all of our brothers who put women on a pedestal and make them their sole reason to live. Think about how they get used, mistreated, and thrown away like garbage by the same people who they worship so much. If you don't want to end up like them, then start by taking value away from your idea of women, and along with that, be wary of what they tell you and how they think. Remember, the goal of this video is not to turn you into a monster, but to make you attractive to women. When you stop giving women your validation for free and have some respect for yourself, they will begin to notice you. Some might even desire you, but the fact remains that you are not boosting their ego like other men around you. By giving value to your time, you give value to yourself and your decisions. The low-quality modern women who are there just for the fun of it will hate you, but the good feminine women will be chasing you. And here's some advice that's not so politically correct, but will save you a great deal of damage. Listen closely. Don't regard a woman's opinion about certain topics as being right every time. This might be the most controversial piece of information in this video, but the truth is that women and men are different creatures entirely, and one's advice might not apply to the other properly. Of course, if you hear a woman state scientific or historical facts, you shouldn't think that she's lying. But if you talk to any woman about things such as love or happiness, that's when you should draw a line. Analyze her opinions and decide with your own rational mind whether or not what she's saying is correct. She is not a god whose opinion will be correct 100% of the time, even though women will force an illusion on you to make themselves look as the one who is correct. But don't fall for that trap. And finally, trait number 4, compete for the number 1 spot. It's so sad to think that even this point would be considered toxic by society. But modern men have a tendency to approach life in a very weak manner, a tendency made up of fear. That's right, they are afraid of competing against one another because they're either not strong enough to beat someone else, or they've simply been brainwashed into believing that, oh no, competition is bad. But we all know what happens if you take competition out of a man's life. You get simps, losers, depressed and lonely big boys, and fake alpha males who are not able to get anything in their life. On top of that, women will not even acknowledge these people's existence because they'll be too focused on those few men who actually competed and won their own battles. Many people say, just compete against yourself, even though that's all well and good, but it's also crucial to look at the big picture. Look at the people around you. To be a king, you must do exactly that and outcompete them. It will certainly be hard, and it will also be painful. But again, that's just the nature of masculine life. Without understanding this, you won't just remain single forever, but you'll also remain weak and powerless against the other men who will be competing against you. So remember, brothers, toxic masculinity is nothing but a broken and wrong version of what true masculinity is supposed to be. Practice these 4 traits in your real life, and everyone around you, including your own self, will love you for it. To see the next best way to level up as a man, check this video here.